Go. So, hi, today I'm with Hannah and Don Palmer, who lead Upper Room Church in Cheetham Hill, and we're going to be hearing about their story, what their life is like in lockdown, personally and as church leaders. So, there you go. So, guys, what's your lockdown life been like?
I think it's been mixed. On the whole, pretty good. We've enjoyed having just a bit more time to do things that we enjoy and to catch up with people online. Not having to commute has been good. I was actually on furlough for about 6 weeks earlier on, which was a wonderful time actually. When I was first told I was going on furlough, I was feeling a bit uncertain about how I would manage to fill my time, and just staying at home the whole time, but quickly got into a good routine and just had time to play music. I've been teaching myself to play the cello, which has been fun. Lots of time to get into gardening. We've been wanting to be gardeners for a while, but never really had the chance to get our teeth stuck into it. So that's been really good. But yeah, back at work now. And yeah, I think the novelty of working from home has probably started to wear off.
Quite substantially.
Motivation is becoming more and more lacking, and particularly when the weather's nice like it has been today. So I'm actually really looking forward to getting back into the office a bit more, hopefully in the next few weeks. How about you, Dom?
Yeah. So I've been having the weirdest teacher training year ever. And so I stopped working at school when lockdown happened, but continued as part of the English department at a high school in Droylsden, and have been kind of teaching remotely. So that's been mostly setting work virtually for students and not having very much contact, but we're just starting to get into being able to do more live lessons. So kind of question and answer sessions, and we had one lesson with some year 8s where we were able to kind of read a play together, which was quite cute and really nice. But like Hannah said, I think for me working from home is getting increasingly difficult. I'm increasingly looking forward to having more people contact, because I find that gives me a lot of motivation too. But still lots of good time outside, bits of gardening, bits of music.
Yeah, because you guys are like leading on worship in the Antioch network as well, aren't you? That's another little hat you've got on there.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what that means at the moment. That's going to be interesting to figure out. Especially if it takes a while for singing to come back, then we'll have some interesting conversations to have about what worship means for our church communities, for sure.
Yeah. So how have you found it? There you go. When you started leading Upper Room Church in February, is that right? And the next month it goes digital. So what was that like?
Yeah.
That was very strange. We started leading. I think we had one Sunday. Then we went on a skiing holiday, so we were actually away for a couple of Sundays. And then we got back. We kind of just started to kind of pull together some plans and have a bit of a think about kind of where we wanted to go as a church and how we're going to do that. We just started to finalise that, and then lockdown happened, and we had to change all of our plans.
I mean, change is a strong word. Just kind of let go of them, really. I think I think we were talking with your cousin about this the other day, and her husband, and we've kind of found that our strategy for church leadership during lockdown has pretty much been, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so we'll just kind of try and love God and love each other today and see what happens tomorrow. And in some ways that's been crazy, and in some ways it's been really quite liberating and quite fun as well, particularly because we love the people around us. They're really great. They're just really godly and talented people. So we've loved seeing the community in Upper Room come together well, support each other well, exercise gifts, and it genuinely does feel like as a church community we're closer now than we were before, or we have ever been. which is real grace.
Yeah, we've definitely seen people really looking out for each other.
Yeah.
And caring for each other, and I think there's just generally been a good sense of, okay, well, we'll make this work, and we're not just kind of bunker down and wait for it to all pass, but we actually want to be growing and learning together. And so loads of people have been getting involved and coming up with creative ideas for how to do worship and how to do prayer and how to build connection over Zoom.
Different meme competitions.
Yeah, exactly. It's been had lots of charades and kind of treasure hunts. We have to run around and find things in your house.
We've had action songs led over Zoom. We've had kind of spontaneous dance worship led over Zoom. We've had all sorts, and it's been really, it's actually on the whole been a lot of fun. It's been interesting to see how for some people it's obviously made things more challenging to kind of stay connected because of the technology, but again, people have kind of stepped up to take care of those folks and work out solutions for that. And for some people who hadn't been able to come and gather with us physically so often, it had meant that actually they could do that because the travel barrier wasn't there or the work timing barrier wasn't there. So it's been pros and cons in that sense too.
Yeah.
Great. So our last question, obviously the kind of where we're going with this question is, how can we pray for you guys and for Cheetham Hill Upper Room Church in general?
Yeah, well, I think for us, there's a lot of change happening in the next couple of months. I guess with lockdown starting to ease and working out what that means for us and for church, and hopefully starting to see family a little bit more.
We're also moving house over the summer, staying in Cheetham Hill, but moving just a few minutes down the road, which is lovely. But still some change. So for, I guess, God's wisdom in all of that, in navigating all of that change, and his continued formation of us to be, and this is us as kind of us too, and also us as in Upper Room, to like more and more become the kind of people who have a real message of the goodness of God to share on the other side of the lockdown, because that is really needed. So we want to become those people more and more, and that for church too.
And I think thinking particularly as well for church and in thinking about how we might be able to start gathering together in person. And also, taking into account the fact that some people are more vulnerable and probably can't join us. And so actually, how do we continue to have that real sense of community, whilst, there are some people for whom actually meeting in person will be much better and they haven't really been able to connect with digitally. So we're keen to do that, hopefully without losing too much of the goodness that's come from meeting online. Lots of questions to be working out there.
For lots of us.
Definitely.
Obviously down in Longside, I've got some of the same questions. Guys, that's brilliant. Should we pray?
That'd be wonderful.
All right. Father, thank you for Dom and Hannah and for leading them into the place of leading others in Cheetham Hill. Thank you for the way that community around them has responded to the challenge, for the way that they've grown in love for one another, for the way that they've pulled together and they've helped one another. And we pray that love and that community will flourish more and more as we come out of lockdown, as things change again. Amen.
Amen.
And Father, we pray for Upper Room, and I'm sure for many other churches across the country who will be facing similar questions of what our gatherings look like coming out of lockdown. We've learned a huge amount over the last few weeks and months about the benefits and challenges of digital church. and God, we want to be able to move forward in a way that that is able to bring people together, to create community, and to create places where people are just released to worship you. And so I pray for your guidance in that, that across the country as a church, we would be able to meet together in a way that is going to be good, and honouring to you and supportive of each other. Amen.
Amen. And I pray, Father, that through this time of transition, that you would continue to form us, your people, into people who reflect the image of your Son into the world, to become not only the kind of people and the kind of communities that the world needs, but also that you desire, and that you are pleased to call your home. Amen.
Amen. And Father, I pray just for that blessing to be on Dom and Hannah and on Cheetham Hill and on the front lines of those, and at the front lines of those streets and every part of where they are, that they and their church would be a blessing to Cheetham Hill. Amen.
Amen.
Guys, thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. And yeah,
Wonderful.
it's been great.
Thank you.
See ya.